Production of Broad and High is funded in part by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, supporting arts, advancing culture, and connecting the community to artists, events, and classes at columbusmakesart.com.
Welcome to Broad and High. I'm your host, Kate Quickle. Tonight I'm going to start with a letter. It reads, Dear Miss Brewer, your letter of some time ago has been turned over to the inking and painting department for reply. Women do not do any of the creative work in connection with preparing the cartoons for the screen, as that work is performed entirely by young men. For this reason, girls are not considered for the training school. Yours very truly, Walt Disney Productions, May 9th, 1939. Women have come a long way since 1939, but still only hold about 20% of the creative roles in the animation industry. And studies show that young girls tend to lose interest in math and technology around age 12. So the folks inside Ohio State University's ACAD program are working hard to share their love of graphics and animation with Central Ohio girls. And for these aspiring young animators, this free summer workshop is the place to be.
So we are at ACAD, and this is a research center for computer graphics and animation, and we've invited a group of 15 girls from Central Ohio to come here and learn about animation in hopes that they will consider it as a possible career path in the future.
Yeah, and we can also play with the cameras too while we're doing it.
Yeah.
Like, we can go to the side and or up and down, or just
We started the program in 2001, and honestly, the reason for starting it is I had a class in animation and there wasn't a single girl in it. And I just felt like I was missing half of what should be happening in that class. The research has shown that at 7th and 8th grade levels, that's when girls start to get turned off from math and science. We feel that it's at a critical age where we show them the value of continuing to learn geometry and continuing to learn about science, but also to practice art, drawing, photography, sculpture, because they can take all of those things and put them together to make a wonderful career making computer animation.
I'm pretty impressed about my top hats.
Research is a really important part of creating animation and finding your voice and being able to tell a story that makes sense. And this year we studied bees and the life of the honeybee. And we asked them to construct stories around this topic. This year they're telling stories about the honeybee. So we went out to Stratford Ecological Center and we visited a beekeeper out there and learned about bees firsthand.
Every single one of those that just landed probably has a stomach full of nectar that she's gonna go barf up into one of her sister's mouths. So that's what's happening in there, right?
What do you think that the girls can take away from watching the bees and observing them in their hives? What do you hope that they take away from this experience today?
Being able to be that close to an open hive, basically in short sleeves, and for them to be there feeling comfortable, not being attacked by bees. We have this idea that bees are vicious creatures out to inflict pain, when they're very gentle and docile, and or they can be. I'm not looking to turn anybody into someone who loves bees or become a beekeeper, but if I can just shift a little bit their thinking about what bees are, and I think my job's done. And so I love walking away from a day like today where a group of 15 or 16 young ladies who most have never been near an open hive walked away with this whole different understanding of what a bee is.
Cool. That is really cool.
And so they're working in small groups of 3 with one mentor, and they're creating a collaborative animation piece. So they've been building stories by making storyboards and a moving storyboard, which we call an animatic.
It all starts off a long time ago in Egypt. They say the queen was born from the tears of the sun god Ra.
And now they're in the process of building virtual models and creating animation with those virtual models to tell these stories and to bring these stories to life.
So can you tell us a little bit about your team and what the story is like and how that's coming along?
So my team is a group of 3 girls. Remy, Claire, and Helena.
Cool.
And they have a tragic romance.
Oh no.
About two star-crossed lovers
Who are bees.
Who are bees from different hives.
Tragic.
And the main character, Wisteria, has to make a decision whether or not to save the love of her life or save her colony.
Oh, that's
it's
hard to decide.
It's pretty intense, so
goodness.
you're in for a treat.
Yeah, I might bring the tissues to this one.
Oh yeah.
All right, Gabriella, so tell me a little bit about what got you interested in animation and what made you want to join the program.
So I first started thinking about animation when I saw DreamWorks movies like Kung Fu Panda. I just thought it was really cool that they would make stuff move, and it was drawings that moved. I thought it was interesting that we got to use new programs. I have never done any animation on computers or anything.
Yeah. So what's the software you're working with?
So the software that we're using right now is Maya.
Okay. Hello, Maya.
Yes, here. And the software is where you can put 3D images into your scene, and then you can start to animate.
And these are the same tools that are being used by companies like Pixar and DreamWorks, computer animation tools. And they're really highly technical tools, but also very artistic tools.
So has there been a scene in your project that you could describe that kind of, took some effort to put together?
One of my scenes, I had the queen bee in the middle, and I had over 50 bees crowding around her.
Whoa.
And for the queen bee, she transforms into her true form.
Wow.
So I had to do like a bright flash of light, and then I had to animate each wing and then animate her going up and down, and it took a lot of work, and I had to actually draw out a diagram.
They're also learning about, I think, finding a voice, and that they don't always have to be the consumers of media, but they can be the makers of media, and they can be the voice of media, and we definitely need more of that. We need their voices to be heard in making stories and telling stories and making games and making animation. It's really, really important that they see that power.
Learn more about the annual digital animation program for young women by visiting acad.osu.edu/womenandtech. There, you'll also find links to the full-length animations created by the workshop's participants. So we're going to keep rolling with this bee theme and make a visit to Honey Run Farm. It's a small family-run farm near Williamsport, Ohio, operated by the husband and wife team of Jane and Isaac Barnes. And they make the most out of their bee byproducts. What started as a hobby has since evolved into a successful business and a way of life. From hive to home, we're going to show you just what all the buzz is about.
Look at that. That makes me a happy beekeeper.
So the main thing we do is produce honey.
I'm going to pull this frame out. I think this is solid honey. Yeah, this is all honey here. Here you can see a little pollen. That yellow stuff, that orange stuff is goldenrod pollen, and that's their protein. The honey is their carbohydrate. This is good to see, because this means they're going to make it through the winter.
Well, Jane and I work at Honey Run. It's a small family business.
We have 4 kids. They're all 6 and under. Growing up, I was always around my parents, working together on the farm, and I think that helped influence my choice to be wanting to be on a farm, so that my kids could be around me, see what we do, help out.
After college, met Jane, and she says that I mentioned to her that I wanted to keep bees, and I don't even remember that, but she, for Christmas, got me a beehive. Yeah, so I put it together and started reading about it and got interested, and that first summer we ended up having 2 hives.
And this didn't really become a business until about 2008 or 9. We started selling the honey at farmers market. Eventually we were up to like 150 to 200 hives, and in 2011 I quit teaching, and this is what we've been doing since. It's been a slow process, but we're up to near 400 hives now, and I'm hoping we'll be up in the 500 range next year. This is the brood chamber where the queen and the brood are going to make it through the winter. The excluder is called a queen excluder. It's shaped basically to where the bees can come up, but the queen is too big to get up through there. And that prevents her from laying eggs and having a brood nest up in these top chambers. These top chambers are called honey supers, and you hope that the bees fill it up with honey. And that's what we'll harvest here today. Oh, that looks great too, This is chock full of honey. The bees have got this honey, pulled out as far as they can, and it's goldenrod honey. In the summer, it's a different color. It's more white. And if it's got a strong clover flow, it's like snow white. But this is more yellow, and it's goldenrod honey.
We pull honey spring, summer, fall, and as the flowers change, you have a different taste in the honey. In the bottle of fall, it's a little darker look, and that's just the honey looks darker, and it's mostly from the goldenrod. The bees are foraging on goldenrod, and then the aster comes on. And the taste of that honey is going to be way different from the summer. It has a more rich butterscotchy taste, and that's just because the nectar of the goldenrod is different than the nectar of, say, clover in June. The bees are collecting honey for them. It's not for us. And so they have all these carbohydrates ready for winter. And in our case, if we steal the fall honey from them, which they need, we've got to supplement it with something.
I rob them of their good box of honey on top.
So you supplement it with feed, for one. If it's warm enough, liquid feed works fine.
This stuff is a mixture of sugar and water, and basically a lemongrass and minty essential oils. It's good for the bees going into winter. This is a protein patty. These are protein sugar mix, and I'll put that in the brood chamber for them to eat. I've fed them a lot of protein this summer. The bees look better than I've ever seen. So that box alone weighs a good 50 or 60 pounds, and they're still pulling in goldenrod and aster honey. So I'm not in much danger of starvation here, but I'm going to give them a box of food anyway.
We really can't separate home from work. It's all enmeshed together. The honey is all bottled and processed in the honey house, which is just a couple of steps out the back door.
Bees everywhere.
And that's our man Leif out there. He does a great job. He'll pull frames of honey out and run it through what's called an uncapper. And the uncapper takes the wax capping that the bees have put on there, takes it off. And that goes on a whole nother route and becomes candles eventually. But the honey frames, got these frames of honey, they go into the extractor. And it's just a big centrifuge. It spins them round and round, and the honey spins out. The honey, it goes into a settling tank. Starting out, I didn't realize how important a settling tank was, and it's really important. The honey sits in there for a day or two, and the stuff, it's called slum gum in beekeeper lingo, it rises to the top, and it's just this all waxy air bubbles. It's this layer that rises to the top of the settling tank, and the honey is then bucketed up out of the bottom of the settling tank, and that makes for nice, pure, golden honey. And at that point, we can pump it up into our bottling tanks.
I grew up in a Mennonite house, and so everything, we did a lot of making things from scratch, keeping things very simple. The products from the honeybee really are amazing because they all get used. So the honey can be extracted, whatever is excess honey that the bees don't need, we can take. It can be used to eat, but also put into soap and lip balms and things like that. And then the beeswax, which is used as we scrape that from the comb, we can clean that, render it down, and it can be used as a candle. Put in the soap, put in the beeswax lip balms. So really, there's no hive product that is thrown out. It's all reused.
I plan on building hives until it kills me. I love this job. So.
Visit honeyrunfarm.com for a list of local retailers and farmers markets where you can find Honey Run Farm products. Back here in Columbus, Amy Knight has been spending the past few years carving sculptures for her expansive nativity scene. You can see it on display every Christmas season at St. Francis of Assisi Church in Victorian Village. Her display features nearly 100 characters made from some familiar autumnal objects. Check it out.
We're at St. Francis of Assisi in Victorian Village. This is the church hall, which is underneath the main church. Well, I've always liked gourds, and some years ago I saw a nativity in a fair trade store here in Columbus, and it was a two-piece nativity made out of gourds, wood burn, from Peru. And I thought, I like gourds, I can do that. So I started on just the mama and papa, and then I found a gourd that looked like a giraffe to me. And I figured, okay, if there's going to be a giraffe, there has to be other African animals. So it just grew out of that. I've got about 65 animals. I have a couple of favorite pieces. I like the bat, I like the porcupine, I like the cheetah, I like the rats. They were the second two that I made after the giraffe, the rats. They're all dried gourds, so they're not going to rot, they're not going to mold or anything else. They're all wood burned. The Indian King's camel took me a week to do, just the week, because he was a two-humper and he has lots of hair growing out of him, and then, you know, of course he's got to have saddle and all that kind of stuff. And I look for specific shapes sometimes. Sometimes I go and something calls to me and says, I know that's a sheep, or I know that's an alligator, or whatever. And sometimes I just go looking for parts, like gourd stems or long neck gourds that I can use the long neck as legs on something. The loofahs make great sheep. Gourd seeds make ears and tongues sometimes. Gourd stems are legs and tails. A lot of the things that the kings bring are natural things that I've found outside, or I've found some strange pod from East Africa at the gourd show. It's interesting that when you open up a gourd, you never know what you're going to find inside. Sometimes the inside is a luminous color that looks almost silvery, and so you can use that. I got an angel that has wings and a halo out of that, and I did nothing to the inside of the gourd. That's the way it came. You never know what you're going to find out, and that's the exciting part, that every time that you open up a gourd, it's a brand new experience. 2 years ago, I added a queen. Instead of the 3 kings, I added a queen, an Egyptian queen. The angels all play traditional African instruments. The African king has traditional kente cloth for the mat that he puts his things on, and he wears a traditional kente cloth fabric. The same with the Asian king and the Indian king. The fabrics that they wear and the mats that they have their gifts on are traditional to that era or that culture. Every culture who knows this story is going to put it in context for them that's meaningful for them. Whether it's an Alaskan nativity or whether it's a Chinese nativity, they're all going to be in. So this is an African nativity to me.
Now here's a story on a figurine of a different kind. Wooden Kokeshi dolls are big in toy culture. They have their origins in Japan, and you'll recognize their signature look of a large head and a body that lacks arms and legs. Ohio's own Craig Galentine of Dayton has put a very American spin on this classic Eastern art form.
When I first started making Kokeshi dolls, that wasn't really the goal I had in mind. I was actually kind of just trying to figure out ways to bring my 2D characters to life. I'm a Dayton native. I was born in Dayton, and I've basically lived here my whole life. I've always been creative, and from an early age, I used to draw all the time and just make things. Just always seemed like kind of had a do-it-yourself attitude. Anything I could come up with, I would just try and make it myself, and it just led to always being creative in some way. I really got into music after school, and that was another area where it seemed like everyone's just kind of doing their own things, and I was kind of involved in the local art scene. I was really into hip hop and collecting records. It kind of led to like graffiti art, and I was really just mesmerized by it, just like how people could do it, how it got on trains. Was it legal? Had to know everything about it. So all the ideas and the colors and the inspiration that I already had played right into the Kokeshi dolls I do now. A Kokeshi doll is a traditional Japanese style of doll. Local artisans would make them around hot springs and places where tourists would visit, and people would start to collect them. I've always been into the design and toy culture. I was kind of trying different things that I could do myself, and one day I just kind of had the idea of making something out of wood. I began with parts that kind of like looked like something that would work for me. And so I was able to find them locally, and I just have to adapt them a little bit to come up with the basic shape that I use. I'm currently working on developing new characters. My initial ideas were kind of kung fu and ninja inspired. I'm kind of bringing it full circle to where I started, just things that I like, that I'm into. I'm really trying to use colors that I'm surrounded by in my neighborhood. And since they're ninjas, they like to blend into your environment. And I'm just always really inspired by just walking around and seeing the trees and kind of basing it on the colors. I do a lot of Eastern styles, but I try to bring something modern to it. I like to keep the eyes and facial features as simple as possible. I find that if you try and overcomplicate it, it really starts taking away from it. I try to keep the traditional elements of the simplicity. That's important to me, and I think it plays into the style of the doll. I sketch it out on pencil first. I usually have a general idea of what I'm going for, and I just sketch it directly in pencil to the wood. I don't really draw it on paper or anything first. And then from there, I just use brushes and acrylic paint. I work on it as it goes, and I'm able to just shape it, and if it starts going, a little astray, I can usually bring it back, pull it back with the paints. It's pretty forgiving, and it dries quick. You can just add to it, and then when it's ready, I just kind of go over it, make sure it's nice and clean, and voila, it's done. It takes probably from 1 to up to 3 to 4 hours to make one. The first dolls, they were pretty rough, and I wasn't really sure what I was doing. Over time, you just kind of learn what works and what doesn't work. I basically done it 5 days a week for 8 years now, and when you look at the side-by-side difference of my original ones to what I'm doing now, it's night and day. When we moved into this house, I was able to take one of the spare bedrooms and convert it into a studio space. I just keep adding to it and adding more and more shelves so I can actually have everything out and look at my ideas. And even though it's not a lot of space, it's just kind of like what I can do with the amount of space that I have. I had just recently discovered Etsy, and I didn't really know much about it. It just seemed like kind of a cool spot and seemed fairly user-friendly, so I put a couple items up there. And it really didn't take long before I got some interest and people contacting me about my work, and even started making some sales right away. I'll always be doing commissions and custom orders. I really enjoy doing that type of work, but I would really like to be doing more just limited edition collections and getting those into more galleries that I respect. The places are out there. I'm getting everything right to the place where I'm really happy with it and I'm comfortable with it, and then I'm going to send it out to places that I would really like it to be and just see where it goes from there. The response has been pretty amazing, and I've sent my work to over 35 countries. People are really receptive to it. It makes me feel like I'm really on the right path, like I'm doing the right thing. If I just stick to it and just keep working at it, then who knows where it will go. You know, ultimately, I would like to visit all the exotic places that my dolls get to go. You know, I'd really like to travel through art and just share my art with the world. I'd like to have Kokeshi Clan go fully worldwide.
That's our show. Thanks to our friends here at 400 West Rich Street for letting us lurk in their hallways. Consider checking this place out on Franklinton Fridays, when many of the artists here open their studio doors. Meanwhile, keep up with us at WOSU.org and give us a like on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We're closing today's show with some tunes by the local rockers known as Electro Cult Circus. This track is off their recently released album, I Wanna Know, I Don't Wanna Know. Thanks for watching. We'll see you here next week on Broad and High.
Production of Broad and High is funded in part by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, supporting arts, advancing culture, and connecting the community to artists, events, and classes at columbusmakesart.com.